Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on October 23rd, 2024. Richie Rich came here early. So he was away last week. He was at the Pinnacle Society. That's for the recruiting geniuses. That's for the recruiting superstars, okay? So he told me before we started, he said, look, Recruiting Animal, I can't tell you any of the secrets that we exchanged there. You have to know the handshake. You have to know the handshake before we'll give you that. But he says, I want to just tell you how wonderful it was so that all those losers out there listening to you will have something to aspire to. They'll say, hey, I want what Rich has, okay?
No, Pinnacle, the conferences are awesome. We had great speakers.
Well, what is the Pinnacle Society? It's the society.
What is the Pinnacle Society? Yeah. Pinnacle Society is the kind of 80 not only just top producers, but people that want to kind of give back to the community, help recruiters, just get better and, are more givers than takers, so it's an awesome, it's a super group of people, like literally the most fun group. Everyone gets along. It's learn a lot. We have a lot of speakers that roll into these conferences, but people become like, like very close friends. I mean, it's amazing the relationships that get formed in this thing. So highly recommended. And, get together twice a year and do monthly.
You have to show them your tax receipt or something like that to get in. Right?
I think you got to bill over 500 grand for 3 of the past 5 years.
I thought it was $1 million.
No.
Oh,
Animal, you're so close.
Not as great as I thought. Okay.
Yeah, they're slumming at the $500,000 mark. There's guys that are in there doing $2.5 million a year.
I thought a lot of these top guys are self-centered, self-seeking, tough cookies, and you're saying they love to share. They're very friendly.
Yeah. I love to share. Everyone just wants to help.
Okay, Richie Rich loves to share. Okay, Richie Rich loves to share, and to prove it, I'm gonna give an ad for. I mean, he does it for free on the show. But if you want to pay for the real inside dope, he's got a class every Thursday morning at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. You can go to the first one, and it's a small group. Everything you say is strictly confidential, and I mention that because you tell him, look, Richie Rich, this is the problem I'm having. You confess your sins or your errors or, the errors of your way. Well, I'm lost, Rich. Okay. And Rich gives you the real dope. I always mention that he brings another expert in there, okay, who disagrees with everything he says, but in a better way than I do, he claims, okay? Because he claims she gets to the same point as him with the fruit, where I don't get there, okay? So wait a second, Tommy, I'm doing Richie's ad, okay? So anyway, Rich is a great guy to talk to. If you listen to the show, you'll find that out right away. Here's how you register for his class. Just send him an email, rich@cornerstonesearch.com, or go to Moore, Moore, Essentials. I don't have to spell essentials, okay? .com. Do you have a name for your class, Rich, or is it like
it's the Recruiting Revolution?
Well, that's a lousy name, but if he wants it, it's called Recruiting Revolution. I call it Learn with Rich. Okay,
there you go. I like that.
Okay, Donna's here, but I want to salute Tommy. So now he goes away. I'll do it just to everybody anyway.
I'm listening.
What I wanted to salute Tom for, Tom also he created a video on how to use Typing Mind, which is one of his favorite tools, AI tools. And he tells you in that video about lots of other tools and how to save money. And so you go to YouTube and the video is
Typing Mind.
Shut up, okay? Let me say what you're doing. Sorry to use rough language. It's called Typing Mind is how I set it. Typing Mind and how I set it up and use it. Typing Mind and how I set it up and use it. That is a guy who gives to the recruiting community. I think I don't know how many people are going to watch it, but I certainly am going to study it. Okay, so and also Tom has a great show on Fridays 12:30 Eastern. And it's called the Recruiter Roundtable. If you want to join, go to LinkedIn, put in the Recruiter Roundtable. It'll give you the link, and you can join, or just watch it on YouTube. And lately, he's been demoing these AI tools so that we can all learn about them. Recently, your last show was about Go Perfect. Am I right about that? What is it? What's Go Perfect?
It's an AI that I was highly skeptical of, and it really works really well depending on your industry. One of the people in the roundtable does executive search. It didn't do a good job with that, but for like construction, for sales reps, it really knows what you're looking for, and it did I don't know how to explain how it did it, but it did a fantastic job. Once you put in all the information you need,
what does it do? It sources people, right?
It sources based on criteria, and it did a really good job. I felt bad for the guy. He just moved here from Israel, the guy who did the demo. So I ended up having to keep saying, oh, well, no. So he didn't know how to spell certain words, but he did a great job explaining it. And if you watch the video, you'll see it did a fantastic job on the construction side.
You know, Bob Dylan has a song called I Pity the Poor Immigrant, okay? Now you made me just think of it, okay? But it's meant spiritually in the song, everybody. Don't come after
And
me.
it's also got a sequence inside there. You can send emails. You can send LinkedIn connection requests.
Does Tom sound muffled to anyone else?
Yes, he does. Thank you, because I knew if I said it, everyone would say I'm wrong, okay?
No, I'm on the wrong. Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, you sound like crap.
Yeah, here's a guy who's teaching us about all the new tech, and he can't use the old tech properly.
Yeah, exactly.
I accidentally chose the wrong microphone. I didn't choose my Yeti. I chose my phone.
Richie Rich, have you tried? Richie tries everything as well. I got to admit, I think Tom is moved ahead of Rich in delving into the depth of this stuff. But Rich is also a guy who's addicted to the new, okay? And people know it, and he's making all this money, so they throw it at him. Rich, please test our stuff out and endorse it, okay? Okay, so Rich, Go Perfect. Have you heard about it? Have you tried it? Tommy just said it's good for salespeople.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. Is it good for sales, or is it good for construction or whatever?
It's good. It's good for sales. You don't want to get too high level. I wouldn't do it for an executive vice president or something like that. But sales reps, project managers, construction, plant managers, superintendents, operations, logistics.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, well, I have to check it for salespeople. Salespeople are usually the hardest thing to find on these things because
check out the demo. The guy will do a demo. It's like a 20-minute demo. It's super easy to use, and it's supposed to be intuitive, right? The point is, it's supposed to, and I have a 20% discount code if you want to sign up. It's supposed to be intuitive, whereas in the more people you pick, and it starts seeing how you pick people, that it starts learning
like
from you.
Yeah, like a nebula type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And unlimited lookups for phone and email.
And don't give it out, okay? What's the discount code?
Oh,
hi, David M. Marr, up in heaven. He's Overwatch. He's looking over us today. All the regulars are here early. Very nice. So, is there a free trial so Rich can try it without having?
It's not a free trial. The code is R as in Ralph, T as in Tom 20, RT20, Recruiter Able 20, I guess.
What's the price?
$149 for one job slot, but you can use it 4 times in the same month. So it's hard to explain, and it's unlimited users. So me, Rich, and you could all split $149 and each use it for like 10 days each to do our searches. Once we're done our search, I hand it to you, you do it, I hand it to Rich, he does it. So it's the price point's a little on the high side if you're doing lots of positions with it. But if it works, like we've always said, if I get a free demo and I get one placement out of it, I buy that software for the year. Right? Whenever I get a free demo, if I get a placement out of somebody I wouldn't have found otherwise, I'll buy it for the year. That hasn't happened yet. We'll go perfect, but I guess we'll see.
Okay. Want to welcome Donna, Prima Donna, and David M. Marr. Okay. All the regulars are here. Let me see what I wanted to talk about today. Anybody else? I've done the beginning of the show praising the members, okay? Patting them on the back. Yeah, that's not what the Recruiting Animals show should be about, but it is, okay? How about this? Train yourself to pause during a conversation. I like this. When you hear an objection on a cold call, you automatically feel threatened. I don't know if it's true of everybody, probably me though. So your brain goes into a fight or flight mode, And what you need then is to give yourself a moment to see that you're not really in danger, so you can relax and think clearly. So it's those slow talkers who like to pause and say, I understand. They have a chance to collect themselves. Does anybody use that? Or, I don't think.
I've never felt in danger on a phone call. I've never felt in danger on a phone call.
Nah.
Anybody else? No? Okay.
Yeah, but you should pause. It should go slow and
Yeah, you should. What's it always? What's that? There's it letters. Acknowledge something. I don't remember.
Too complex already.
Doing a great explanation. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I know. Yeah. Okay. Donna, I'll bet you pause.
I'm pausing now.
Okay.
You
Dave.
have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
What?
You should listen. You should have 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen
So,
quite
so God, Yahweh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blind
actually,
Spaghetti Monster,
I,
etc. gave half as
3
much as
years?
you listen.
What's the 3 years? So he incarnated for a minute there to talk to give us that bland, hackneyed message. Okay. What is 3 years? That made it different. What does 3 years mean,
He
Dave?
said God gave you 1 mouth and 2 ears, so you talk half as much as you listen.
No. He said you've got 3 years. Okay.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Tom. What Tom said is what I said.
I tell that
I think we're going
that
off
is
the
my
rails
entire candidate prep.
You
That is
know,
my entire candidate prep.
okay. When I hear that, I reach for my revolver, which I don't have. Okay. I'm north of the border. We don't have guns at our
I think I have the opposite problem sometimes. Like just yesterday, I was talking to a candidate, and at one point she said, "Are you still there?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just writing down everything you say." Because they'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So I don't have a problem pausing because the candidates are very chatty.
You got to get your boss to buy you that stuff that Tom is always.
Yeah, we're actually making a presentation about that. I think next week. So
Okay. Now here's one for Richie Rich. Okay. Leaving Crelate. My subscription renews in less than 2 weeks, and honestly, I've never liked it. It's ugly, buggy. And I already pay for the full-blown LinkedIn Recruiter, which is pretty much can be used as an ATS. Has anyone else migrated away from Crelate? How do you go about it? First of all, Rich loves Crelate. Okay.
One, you pronounce it Crelate, not Crelate. Two, listen, there's different flavors for a reason, right? Some people like Luxo for some crazy reason. Some people like PCR. Or Bullhorn for even crazier reasons. But there's a million ATSs. None of them are perfect.
Okay, Tom loves Luxo, and I see tons of complaints about Luxo as well. And he's always telling
like Rich says, man, there's no perfect ATS, and everybody's gonna have an issue with an ATS. Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
You really like it. I mean, that's just as good as not perfect. I mean, you love it. You love it. Okay.
For what's out there, and I've been using it since 2016. So yeah, I mean, I've learned to make a lot of money from it and use it. I mean, I've said this before. I just tested one called Atlas, Go Atlas, I think it's called, and it's fucking awesome. Okay. It could be a Luxo killer. I could see myself leaving Luxo for it if they extend out what they say they're going to do and do all the same stuff that Luxo has and more. I could possibly see myself leaving.
This guy says,
there's so many of them. There's a new one every day. There's an Emisoft out of Germany. There's tons of them.
And that's my problem with Atlas is I want to make sure the company's going to be around 5 years from now, right? So you have a good job, Luxo, Crelate, PC Recruiter, Big Bill or Bullhorn. They've been around. They're there. Like the price point it hurts a lot of people. Everybody wants to pay $10 a month or whatever, like Manitoul or whatever. But for $200, any of those 5 does a great job. A great job. You can manage your business. You have a CRM. You have sourcing. Everything.
Yeah. The end of the day, people think the ATS is going to fix their business. It's not going to fix your business.
Nope.
It makes it a little easier if you know what you're doing. Most people don't even use the ATS the way it's meant to use. They use it as a resume like repository and not actually as a CRM, so to speak.
Somebody asked me on Reddit, what do you recommend? I asked him his price point. He said $25, and he doesn't need a CRM. Like, just forget Manitoul. Manitoul will do a great job.
Tom, is this Atlas one? This is the $40 a month, $20 a month it starts at?
No. It's Go Atlas. There's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this other one. This Atlas, SC whatever Atlas, senior or something like
that one you can't get in that one. It's not Atlas SRE. It's Go. I think it's GoAtlas.com.
No, it's not. It's Go
no,
Atlas.
that's not it. That's not it either.
Yeah,
and that's just it. The guy is not doing a great job.
Yeah,
getting,
I would. Is it if you already is this a Recruit with Atlas, that one? AI powered ATS.
He's
guessing so.
disappeared now. Okay.
Yeah,
What-
I'm guessing
okay.
it's this one.
Recruit with Atlas.
There you go.
Hold on, which reminds me, I wanted to ask you guys about one. You can look it up. It's called Gig Hire, GIGHire.com. And here's the interesting thing about it. Okay, you can
There's a
get
link,
the
Rich.
free version with unlimited candidates. So you can't use the all these fancy tools that you're talking about, the CRM stuff and whatever, but you can use it as a database for an unlimited number of candidates for free permanently. Okay, I think that's an offer I've never seen before. What do you
Well, that's
guys
just
think?
all that is it's a. I mean, there's lots of. If you just want a place to put resumes, there's lots of them for free. It's
Like
it's
what?
the job section, the pipeline section that people want. If they're not going to do the CRM, it's one thing to house all your resumes. You can do that in OneDrive or whatever, right? That's easy. Right? But if you need a pipeline, then what's the sense of? I mean, I guess it's free, right? You can do it, but I don't see the point of not having a pipeline or a way to put a job in there and say I'm doing a search for a sales rep in New York for a startup, and
When you say there's a database, you think Gig Hire doesn't let you do a search on your candidates? Of course it does.
no. That's not what I said. I said a pipeline.
What's the difference?
Pipeline's how you work through the job. You put a job in there, like even if you don't post a job, you put the job in. I'm doing a search for a sales rep in Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I found 30 people. I put them in the pipeline. And when I call them, I move them to contacted. When I email them, I move them to emailed. If they tell me to go pound sand, I move them to rejected. So I can kind of manage the search.
Oh, okay.
You work through their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's Gig Hire. And you were mentioning Mantal, MANTAL, right?
I think
MANTAL.
that's what it is. MANATAL. Yes.
Manatel. Okay, learn how to speak so the people can understand. Okay.
It's $15 a user a month, $35 a month for the enterprise.
Okay. What about this? Should a recruiter warn a client if the candidate isn't nice to her? Okay. And the idea is if you're not nice to someone who's trying to help you,
That depends.
you're not going to be nice to the client if they hire you. Is that true? Anybody?
Money is better than ego, Animal. Money is better than
Yeah.
ego.
So aren't you going to tell your client, look, Joe here was as rude as could be. He's interested in your job, but he's not friendly to me. He's not nice to me. I don't know what he's going to be like when he comes into your company. I don't want you to hire a toxic employee. So keep your
Just
eyes
because
open.
they were mean to you doesn't going to be mean to everybody else.
Okay, so you're disagreeing with this, okay? Does anybody stick? I'm against Tom. Tom's wrong on this, and I believe Rich is wrong on that too. He says if they're rude to me, I know I've got him on record for this. They're not going to be nice to the client either. Rich?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the client too. I mean, especially in this year,
And all the circumstances.
there's a lot of clients this year that are completely out of their mind. So listen, this year you got a candidate that's good and interested. You roll the dice sometimes, but if the guy's a jerk, it's generally not going to really work well for me.
Do you warn your client? Do you warn your client? They can't see. Oh yeah.
Well, it depends.
So-
I don't think
I
I
mean,
would say anything ahead of time, but I would have said after they're like, if they interviewed, I would have said, tell me how that, I would have dug into more like, you would ask anyway, their perceptions of the person. But if I started hearing that they were hesitant or they had some questions, then I might have a discussion, but I would wait.
So here's my question.
And again, in this market, clients are so bloody particular that listen, you know what? They want the sun, the moon, and the stars. Sometimes you get the asshole with it. That's on them.
Rich, here's the thing. Like you and I both, if you can't have a back and forth with the candidate, how can you even present them? How can you debrief them? How can you prep? I'm like if you can't have a relationship with the candidate, like if he's an asshole, he's an asshole, right? I'm an asshole, right? But at one point, you got to be able to talk to one another. If you can't talk to them, how are you going to fucking present them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, that's 100% right. They can't be that bad where you're not going to present them. I mean, you're not going to present, this flaming lunatic. But sometimes guys have a little bit more of an edge than others.
Unless he's the only flaming lunatic and can do the job, and I'll tell the client that Animal, you're right. If he's the only flaming lunatic, I'm looking for a guy who's worked at NASA, plus it has a mechanical engineering degree and a landscape architecture degree, and is Jewish. Right? Let's just say he's the only guy. I'm like, this guy's an asshole, but he fits everything you're looking for. You want to hire him? It's on you. That's what I would say.
And you just said they're mean to you, right? What was your initial question? If they were mean to you or rude to you? Because that's different than a person who's just all around horrible.
Yeah, how does it mean to you? And how do you present a guy who's mean to you? I don't even understand that.
Well, I understand very well. I disagree with you guys, although you're so slippery. It's hard to, you say one thing and then you start qualifying.
Money's better than ego, bro. If I can make a fee, I'll figure out a way.
No, I'm not going to. If I send it's my responsibility, and you guys know it's true, that you have to make an honest presentation and you have to say, look, client or hiring manager, I got a bad feeling about this person's personality. I didn't, I just don't think.
Listen, Animal, you always want these black and white answers. There's no black and white. 9 out of 10 times, the guy's that big an asshole, we're not sending him out. But if the guy goes,
you just said if he's an asshole, we're going to send him out. Okay, you said that.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
You have to be able to have a relationship with him. You have to be able to talk to the guy. He has to call you back. Right? So what level of asshole are you talking about? My asshole level, or a guy who won't even talk to you asshole level?
Exactly.
Obviously, we're not talking about someone you can't get on the phone, okay?
But I mean,
so what makes him an asshole then?
Yeah. I mean, if the guy's just rude and obnoxious, whatever, that's a personal taste. You got to know your client.
And when I make a presentation, I don't know that I would call it a warning, but there is always a spot where I refer to their personality. So I might have said, so-and-so gives short answers and is not open to lengthy discussions, or, abrupt in communication style. I might put some, but it's not like a warning. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
David and Mark, you're going to come in with me. I got a feeling I can count on you. Up in heaven. No. Okay, fine.
I would generally tend to agree with you, Animal. That if
would you warn the hiring manager? Hey, I don't like this guy.
But it's also he's coming from an internal recruiter perspective too.
Correct, because if somebody, for example, in the recruiting process on the corporate side, we have recruiting coordinators, or we'll say administrative assistants back when people would interview in person.
We're not talking about the dirtbag the guy who's rude to the secretary. We're talking about the one who relates to you. Don't shift the question, okay? I can't get a straight answer from anybody
giving you
here.
An analogy that aligns with what you're saying.
Go ahead. I'm going to pause. I'm going to do the pause.
When the people are rude,
go ahead.
To somebody or an asshole.
If he's like Animal and being rude, I would never send him.
Exactly. If I cut them off and I said, "Hey, the sky is falling. No, it's not. It's black. No, it's white. There's always gray, right? If there's a
not the animal pocket,
so the only exception I can see that you might present someone who is a total D-bag is if there's a small population of people that perform the skill set you're recruiting for, and they just happen to be that. In the tech world, there's a lot of egos. A lot of egos, and in sales too, for that matter, and recruiting.
Well, here's the thing.
There's a lot of egos.
Any high value position that makes a lot of money has assholes like us.
But if someone is that horrible, they're going to continue to be that horrible. I'll give you a real quick example. I had a candidate, and she wasn't right for the position that I had open at the time. She just wasn't. And I told her that. But I knew that the parent company who had just acquired us might have positions that she would be good for. And I even let her know that. And I let her know, listen, I have nothing for you now, but just sit tight. Let me see. She was a jerk to me. Like, she was one of those people who's just rude to me. But I put it aside. Again, like you're saying, could have a bad day, whatever. And so I was ready to move her on if something came along. But she went above my head, found on LinkedIn the name of one of our VPs, wrote the VP, told them how clueless I was as a recruiter, how wonderful she was. Of course, I had placed that VP at the company. We have a long-term relationship. point being, her personality came out, shot herself in the foot. She's not moving on anywhere within the organization. And I think that happens in the interviews anyway. If someone is that horrible, I don't know that you have to say warning, warning. They don't just turn it off.
Great example too, Don. I recruited an engineer and he was a jerk. He was an asshole to me. But I had pitched him the job, told him what the company was. He went around me, called Mark, and Mark called me and goes, "This guy just called me." I go, "Yeah, I talked to him." He goes, "That guy's an asshole for going around you. I'm not even talking to him." It was like the greatest thing in the world. This guy was a total jerk to me, went around me, and then my client said, "Fuck you. I'm not. Why wouldn't you talk to our recruiter?" You know?
Yep.
We beaten that one to death. Dave,
Yeah.
I cut you off. If you have anything else, you can come back. Okay. How to handle a counter offer. This was unique. Okay. My candidate said he would not take a counter offer after I did several pre-closes. I tried to close him many times. No way am I going to take a counter offer. Of course, he ended up taking one. Okay. But this is the recruiter, the noble recruiter. I didn't tell him that he would regret it. I asked if he shared all of his concerns with his boss. You know, they've got no plan, no structure, no
I
proper
can't wait for
market.
this to finish.
Okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the end. I can't wait for the fucking end on this one. Go ahead.
Hold on, give me a chance and I can get there. Okay. I asked, are you happy with the answers? Were they honest? Do you feel valued or simply paid off to stay? He said, I still want to leave, but my wife made me take the counter offer. Okay. I offered to talk to his wife and made another offer. Okay. I told him what's most important is that you make the best decision for you, and my door is always open. So he was very friendly, even as he sort of challenged it. Did he do the right thing? Was that the way to do it?
At the end, yes. I'm always going to be friendly, right? This is not personal, right? They aren't doing this to take money out of your pocket, right? They may piss you off, but you go home and you kick the cat, right? Don't be an asshole to the person who takes the counter offer. But it is what it is, right? And if you are an asshole, and again, Rich and I, money's better than ego. That guy's not going to call you again if things change. I want that guy to call me again, even though, and he may take 3 counter offers over the next 20 years. He calls me a 4th time, I'll still send him out. So.
Okay, lots of people wouldn't, but here's the thing. He said, I didn't tell him that he would regret it. Most recruiters do that. They say, look, you're not going to be there in 6 months. They give all kinds of dire warnings. This guy did not do that, okay? In fact, I remember another recruiter in our office, somebody did just this thing, took a counteroffer, and I was only hearing his end of the conversation. You screwed me, Joe. You screwed me. He said it a few times, right?
You screwed the client, right? You screwed the client, right?
No, he screwed the recruiter.
He beat counteroffer here. But Danny Cahill had one where he was a great long time ago, and I think I asked Rich about it. I don't think he remembers it, but he was like, after you've made your candidate an offer and he accepts, call them back the next day and say the client pulled the offer and see how the candidate acts. And when they start freaking out, goes, well, that's exactly how they would feel if you took a counter offer, right? Like something like that. That was the idea. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. But the idea was if the candidate's like, oh, okay, no big deal, then you know it was probably going to fall apart anyway. And that's why I also say you can't ask the candidate, and this doesn't apply in this guy's position because he did that. Tell me why this opportunity is better than the one you have right now.
Okay, hold on a second. Rich, is his sound lousy again? Rich
Yeah.
isn't listening. Yeah, it is. Okay. At least finally I get Rich to agree with me about something. Okay.
Okay. Is that better? I'm back on the Yeti microphone. So what I was saying was,
There you go. There you
I
go.
go-
But hold on. No, Tom, let me interrupt you. What would you say if the guy said, my wife made me accept it? Okay. What would you say? What does she know? She's not in your job.
It doesn't matter. It's already dead. Why waste your
It's
time?
dead. Yeah, that's
It's
why.
a
Like,
stupid
what can you say?
conversation.
I
No,
might say
no,
why.
no,
What was
you're
the
a
reasoning
salesman.
behind? I might ask him, why did your wife want you to stay with that job if you were that unhappy? Tell me what was the reasoning behind it. I might ask that.
I know why. For security. That's why.
But
And if
the
that's the
issue
case,
is the
there's nothing
time
you
to
can do.
discuss the counter offer and why not to take it is before it's offered. So once it's offered, the
This
person
guy did
decides
that.
to walk
That guy
away
did.
from
The guy
it.
did
Yeah,
that, right?
that's what I'm saying.
But-
So it's why would you keep going? I mean, you've
Because
already
now
told
there's
them
a
they
new
made the
element.
choice.
Let me ask the sales rep guy here, Richie Rich. Okay, why is it a deal? The deal dead? Why wouldn't you say, look, now you're telling me that your wife told you not to take it? Really, what's her expertise? Where does she come?
What are you
make
going
your
to say
decision?
about
Why,
his wife?
why would you do? I mean, but it's the chance of this turning is like less than 1%. I mean,
And you can't insult his wife.
exactly. Basically, I mean, all you can really say to the guy is like, listen, are you going to be happy keeping this job? Because we've all had something dumb like this happen. You can just say, listen, you know, what's the real story? There's got to be more to it than just your wife telling you what to do. Because if you're miserable, you know, at your job, you're going to be miserable at home, and that's not going to help you and your wife. You know,
I do have one example where I did turn it around when it was internally, and we were making an offer to someone to come over, and then they got a counter offer to stay. But I said, let me see if I can get you even a better offer. But you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was more negotiation than just
But yeah,
a counter offer, walk away.
I hate those too because it's a money back and forth.
But
I
you
hate
know, I mean, we really wanted the person,
Yeah,
and
no, I
I
understand.
had
No,
to
I
find out how
understand.
much
I
do we want the
understand.
person. But yeah, so
You
I
know,
mean, that was one time where I did talk after they took a counter, you know.
Jerry used to say, although he would deny it, it's on recorded somewhere. He would say, "I've made millions of dollars taking no for an answer," and that's what Rich reminded me of that. He said, "Let's forget
our
about
job.
it. Let's move on."
That's our job. Our job is
Yeah.
90% failure. Our job is 90% no.
Yeah.
That's our job. We fail 90% of the time.
Hold on.
Well, not
You
all.
guys, I thought your expertise, especially Tom, who's always boosting Finkel, never accept a rejection. You always have to have a slew of rebuttals to argue.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're going to close them. You're not going to turn everybody,
So
right?
you don't take no for an answer. That's my point. Don't pretend now that you do, okay?
That's
You-
getting someone on the
That's not
phone.
what you
That's
said.
getting
You
someone
said,
to talk to you.
I make millions taking with no's or something. And I said, that's what our business is no. Our business is dealing with no. That's our business.
Okay. So that means
We don't pay fees. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm not looking to make a job change. You know, we don't use
Tom, I don't
recruiters.
like it. Tom, I don't like it here, but I'm henpecked, and my wife is telling me not to take this. new
Again,
job.
it's not black and white. I'm not
So,
insulting
Tom
someone's
is
wife.
going to say, Tom is going to be smart. He's not going to insult the wife. But look, Billy,
I will
the wife-
focus on like Rich had the best comeback, which was there has to be something more than just your wife. You said you were miserable there. Nothing's
No,
going to
there's
change 6 months from now. You're going to be more miserable, which is going to hurt your home life. Did
Yeah,
you discuss that
was
with
a
your
good
wife?
one. If you're not happy at work, you're not going to be happy at home. That was a decent rebuttal, I thought. That was.
And you
pretty
discussed that? Have you discussed that with your wife that you're miserable there, and if it gets worse, you're going to be miserable at home? Did you guys talk about that? That's about the best you can do in that scenario.
Rich, would you do that? Would you ask him to take your statement back to his wife? Look, how can I be happy at home if I'm not
Let's
happy?
explore. You explore.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it. I mean, the end of the day is, I mean, that's the only really strength you have. I mean, going into a pissing match with a guy who's telling you his wife is telling him what to do, it's already a losing battle anyway.
Your wife told you not to take it. What are you, henpecked? What an asshole! What asshole doesn't listen? How come you don't you wear the pants? Right? Aren't you supposed to wear the pants? Did you go to Oath Keepers? How come you don't tell your wife to shut up? Like that, all you're gonna do is get the guy to pissed at you and hit you.
Yeah.
Okay, Donna,
I mean-
would you ask to speak to the wife?
No. No.
That's what
No.
those other recruiter. Who's that guy? Burns.
It was a very
Billy
90s.
Burns used to say,
It was a
"Fuck
very
all the wife."
90s thing to do. Like in the 90s, people would actually say that, you know, and be like, "Oh, let's get the wife on the phone." And sometimes, listen, there's a big
Call the
if there's a
house.
big reload.
Oh, he's not
hey,
home. Hi,
hey,
Mrs. McGillicuddy. Do you know I'm the recruiter?
listen, if there's a big reload, then it's a different story. If that's a part of the reason. If it's just a guy
100%.
not taking a job, the guy's just lying. There's another reason. I mean, how many times has a wife really said, "No, don't take this job"? A few and far between is my guess.
I would think
Like you
only
said,
if
not
there's
enough information.
if there
Maybe it was a
lot of
low
money.
base with
I'm
no
like
guaranteed
talking all over
commissions.
everyone today. I gotta tell you.
Sorry.
He is. It's
I
true.
haven't slept.
But hold on.
I'm sorry.
Do you guys normally ask your candidates? Have you discussed this with your spouse? Is
No.
that a standard part of the process?
I
Yeah. No.
Depends.
No. It's
No.
just there's lots of trainers who say that should be a standard. part of-
Depends. It depends.
Not on reload. Okay, reload is something different entirely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I can't think of a time. That seems very intrusive. I don't know. I don't think internally that would even be appropriate for me to ask about what they've talked to their
Rich,
spouse.
did you do that early on?
I
wife thing?
probably did. I mean, I haven't asked that question in a long time because listen, you're sales guys, you're grown up, make your own stupid decision. If you're a rep and you really have these bigger problems, then you got bigger problems. You know, it's just if you're getting down to that's the reason they're not taking the job, it comes back to the same point. It's they're not taking the job for some other reason. Like they're really not that interested.
Okay,
It's-
but Rich
there's no-
suggested that this wife is just a front for some other reason. He doesn't even take that seriously.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Okay.
a very valid point.
I do take it seriously. Okay, here's
Why?
a guy.
Why would you? I mean, why would you take that seriously?
Because that happens. You know, your husband or wife might disagree with you, and you know, it's your joint.
It's your life. It's one thing if you're going, you know, from running, a company to a startup. All right. If it's nothing, if you're going from a startup to startup and you're just miserable and the company's failing, I mean, it's just not. I don't know. I never see it as a problem. So
Okay. So, Rich, you could make a decision to change your business radically without talking to
Yeah.
Mrs. Rich. Okay.
100%.
Okay. But this guy says you discuss counteroffers right after you say hello. Okay. You ask immediately why they would consider a move. Is it money? And will a counteroffer make you happy? That's like the first thing you talk to somebody about. Okay. Tom doesn't agree. No.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, it's who is that far into a sales process or a job process and doesn't mention it to their spouse. It doesn't come up. You know, it's just.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I know you're still on that stupid topic, or what are we
No,
on?
no, I'm talking about counteroffers still. If you want to add something about that
Yeah.
one, huh?
No, but I mean, but think about it. I mean, if you're going to use your wife as an excuse, you're telling me at the last minute it just came up, you didn't talk to her like on your first 5 interviews.
Yeah, where were you all those times you couldn't take my phone call and that 4 hours you spent in New York City?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's another question. I think we might have talked about it before. I have my own clear opinion about this, but Tom just reminded me because he asked Rich. He said, "Well, Rich, did you used to ask that wife question? Now it's out of style." So the question is, how many years does it take to become an expert recruiter? What Tom was implying there was that when Rich was a junior, he was following a prescribed format. Then he discovered his own way of doing things and maybe abandoned those hackneyed questions. But Rich, I'll let you comment on that before I give the answer. Before I tell you what you did, okay?
Before, when do you become an expert recruiter? I don't know if you ever become an expert. You become just more confident, is really what it amounts to. This is like a business you're constantly learning in. There's always a new way to do something. There's always a new, line or new verbiage.
No,
or
just
new
one example. It sounds like it's the same old thing. You've been doing the same thing since you first started, okay? And you were a superstar. Both of you were
How did you get that out
superstars
of
right
his
off the
mouth?
bat. What?
I think working hard and knowing what you're doing are very different things. There's a lot of discipline that led to success. So, I think you go to these Pinnacle meetings, there's all these guys, billing $1 million or whatever, right? A couple guys doing 2 million, 2.5 million even. They got teams, all right? And they, they're still learning. That's why they're there. They're not egotistically morons.
Give an example of one thing these people learned about at the meeting that isn't technology, okay? Because with this wife thing, we're not talking counteroffers. We're not talking about technology. And you know what?
We were talking
not just the wife. It could be a spouse, everybody. In case you think we're being really sexist. No, we're not, okay? Spouse, whatever gender.
Okay, listen. Everyone's long-winded today. Jeez. No, I mean, we at this meeting we had, Wilson Cole, the backdoor attorney.
Yeah, like him, great guy.
Great guy. I've known him forever. He's dynamite. We had Belay, who's a kind of a Josh Braun type, outreach cold call guy. We had Mark Whitby there. Who else do we have there? We had, our own internal speakers. like Mike Silverstein, who's a stud, kid's 38 years old and just making millions upon millions every year. As a recruiter, he's awesome. I mean, just all sorts of stuff, man. Danny Cahill spoke.
Okay, but you didn't give one answer to my question. Like, what did you
gotta
learn?
come Thursday
What was-
morning then.
What was new? Oh, there you go. He's smarter than I thought. Okay, Donna, do you want to add anything that you're learning? You've been in it only for a few years, okay? But you've made a million calls, okay?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Now,
I
give
don't
me
know.
one
I don't know.
example. One example, and you should be thinking,
What?
David Marr, up in heaven if you want to contribute to this. Go ahead, Donna.
I think even just the automations I learn every day, ways to do
I
my
said
job
not
any
tech,
faster.
not
He
tech.
said not
tech.
technology.
Oh,
He's-
well, I
he's-
guess I
he's
need to
boxing
learn
us
to
in.
learn to listen
Well, we
better
had Ben
because I
Bender there too, talking about AI as well.
not tech. I don't know. I learn something whenever I hear different conversation pieces. Like even Rich, the last thing he just said about the question of, okay, your wife, but what really? You know, digging in a little deeper that way, and where I don't know, just little techniques you pick up. Like, oh, that's a good idea.
Okay,
You're
those
always
people-
learning.
Hey, everybody
Yeah.
out there in TV land, they didn't give a clear answer for you. Okay, there you go. Okay, and I'll tell you why, because these people are very good from the start and they pick things up quickly and they've got that interpersonal style. That's what I believe. Okay, that's with them from the beginning. That's what makes them all great. If Donna was in her own business, she'd be a huge success as well. Although I think she's wise taking the career path that she's taken. Just so you know, David and Marr didn't say anything, but the door's always open to the people in heaven. I just want you to know, okay? You can stay doing whatever you're doing, okay?
One of the things I think that we used to tell all our new recruiters, and I was told this too, fail our way first and earn the right to do things your way, right? We're taught how to do this in the beginning because we don't know anything, right? So yes, we do things that we're taught how to do because there is a process. There is a way that these guys figured out how to recruit. They taught us how to do it, and then we changed it as we got better, right? So it's fail our way first.
That is stupid. Okay, that is wrong, everybody. Don't listen to that. Your boss will tell you that, but some of these canned scripts that they give you, you know from the start, they're not for you.
You have to
okay?
learn how to say that. You have to learn how to do. If you've never sold anything, right? You come on board like me as a bartender. I needed to learn how to do this. So those scripts worked teaching me how to do this. And then I started crafting it to fit my personality, my style.
And
I
you
started making-
probably started crafting the script pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Like you got
yeah.
it didn't take long. So it's not like the super long drawn out process, but you get the idea.
I
and then
went
you
from
tweak it.
indirect recruiting to direct recruiting in about a month. And it was working for me, and I was making places my boss didn't care. And to answer your question about what did I learn, my recruiter Sage, she got a new rebuttal. She taught me a new rebuttal that I never thought of. It is fantastic when you're talking to sales guys, and they start, I'm not interested. You go, hey, you drive around all day trying to get people to buy your product or spec your product or whatever, and you expect them to talk to you. Why wouldn't you talk to me? And it works every single time on a sales rep. Because that's what they do. They're out there driving around trying to get their product spec'd or trying to sell, and they expect whoever they call on to entertain their product or whatever. Why wouldn't you give me that same courtesy?
You're a
works
sales
every
rep.
time.
In other words, you're saying, look, you're a sales rep. I'm a sales rep. You want people to listen to you. Why won't you listen to me? Because I'm not interested in a job, honey. That's why. Don't bug me. Okay. Don't pressure me.
I'm telling you. And so if someone says to you, I'm not interested in your wall panels, don't bug me. You take that?
Yeah, BD candidates were my favorite. I loved when I'd get to call into sales because they would almost always take the call. It was so easy to get them to talk
No,
to you.
but he's saying, no, they don't take the call, but you
Well,
can
but it's
pressure them.
easy to get
Again,
them
it's
to
not like
just what he's
every
saying.
single sales rep says no, but the occasional sales rep who gives you that pushback, that is a much better rebuttal than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah. And they
Because it
appreciate
opens it up and
persistence.
gives empathy that they know how they're like all of a sudden, oh yeah, because I just got my door slammed in my face 2 times. It made me feel like shit. I'm not going to do this. You're playing on their empathy and you're playing on that you guys are equals.
Yeah.
Have a heart.
I love
Talk to me. Yeah, Mr. Tough Cookie sales rep. Okay, please.
Look,
talk
they
to
were
me.
the only
Money is
people
better than
that
ego.
They
Okay.
would be the ones that would call me back when I call like 20 something times and appreciate it and tell me they appreciated it versus getting cursed out.
Okay, hold on a second. It's Donna. I hate to say it, but it's
Yeah, guys,
true.
I gotta run. Ciao.
Oh, I had a question for you. Okay, sorry, John. Okay, but Donna
What?
is a woman, and Sage is a woman. Have you used it? Have you used it, Tommy? If you call
I
them
didn't hear what you said. I'm
Did
sorry.
you use the rebuttal personally that you just
Oh yeah.
learned?
Oh yeah, yeah. Since she told me about it, yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I used it.
okay. Here's something else. Somebody has.
Are you
on-
assuming that I'm only calling male sales reps and that I'm not calling women, or do you assume all the women are lesbians?
Yeah, I assumed that it was a man that you were talking to. Okay,
Okay, good to know.
okay, okay, doll face.
Thanks.
Okay, here's a on YouTube. Too bad Richie Rich left. Okay, we're gonna ask him next week if he comes back. Okay, but this guy has lessons. He's not a sales rep, but he tries to sell his product, Nurture Box. It writes Boolean for you. Okay, and Trisha gave
She smacked you around in that.
Yeah, he did. Okay, but here's his suggestion, for instance, for a script. I want to know what you guys thought of it. Hi, Raymond. I'm going to be honest. This is a cold call, but it's a well-researched one. Can I get 30 seconds to tell you why I'm calling, and then you can tell me whether it makes sense for us to speak? Anybody
That's
like
what's
that?
his name? That's the who said that?
It's a guy named Salesh. It's a permission-based call. You're right, David Marr. David Marr's sending me little messages. Luckily, today I can actually read them.
Yeah, Lefkowitz does that, but
Peter
there's a new cold calling guy on LinkedIn.
Yuri? Yuri?
Is it Yuri?
Yeah, Yuri. Well, there's a lot of them, but Yuri's specifically cold calls. Okay, I can't remember
Is
his
he the
last.
guy that's like nuts?
I don't think he's nuts. No, although. So does anybody ask? So nobody approves of permission-based calls, asking if it's okay. No one approves that. Okay, can I get 30 seconds?
I mean, I look, the guy who was doing it. I'm trying to find him right now. He's awesome. Like he just says this is a cold call, and I can't remember it, but it's
Yuri is cold emails. Okay, sorry, Yuri's cold email.
oh, I thought we were talking about calls. Sorry.
Yeah, we are talking about calls. I made a mistake. Sorry. I am sorry. Okay. I am sorry. Okay. So just let me say it again. Hi, Raymond. I'm going to be honest. This is a cold call, but it's well researched. So I won't be wasting your time. I only need 30 seconds to have that to talk to me. See, that's how I would change the words to that, but it's not bad. It's well researched. I'm not just talking at the top of my head. I know something about you already. If that's sort of an interesting angle to take. Anybody agree with me? Anybody going
I think
on?
it's fine. Yes, it's fine. Do whatever you need to do to get someone to talk to you. Change it up.
We always
Change
say,
it up.
try it 10 times. If it doesn't work, switch it up. Right?
Okay,
Like so.
I would say to Donna, to the hiring manager, she's a bit scolding. She can scold you. It's not a reason not to see her, but she can scold you. I just want you to know she's a mom, and sometimes she treats me like I'm her little kid. That's okay. There you go. Okay.
The weirdest cold calling trainer. Have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
No, never heard of
That's
him.
the guy. The
I'm
weird
gonna-
underdogs. He's underdog sales on YouTube, and I think he's underdog sales on LinkedIn as well. Julio
Okay, he's frozen. Me and Julio. Oh, he's gone now. Okay. What about this, Donna? And you can consider it. Okay. The candidate tells you she's a great candidate, but she says, "Look, I got to take my dog to work with me." Anybody in on that one?
This is the guy. The weirdest cold calling trainer.
I don't know him.
Oh, that's Julio. You're right. Yeah, it's not Julio.
Check him out. He's
Italian.
The dude's got some amazing videos, and he really does all. They're all live calls too. He does live calls every day.
Okay. It's Julie. Is it Italian? Julie Samentini.
Yeah.
Is he in Italy?
No, he's in the United
Says
Kingdom, but he's from
UK.
Italy.
Okay. Hey, it sounds like maybe he's like that guy Furio on the Sopranos. Okay, what about the dog? Maybe we'll make that the last question because the show's gone very fast. We were arguing about that counteroffer for so long. I hope other people find it as interesting as I did. Okay, what about Donna, I love the job, and you've already told me you think I'm a really good candidate, but I have to tell you this. I'm not going to tell you at the beginning. I'll tell you at the end. I take my dog to work with me, and I won't take any job where I can't. Donna, what are you going to say?
If I were still third party, then I would be looking at my remote companies that had openings. And right now I have a fully remote company, so it's a dead issue for me.
Okay,
bring
but
my dog to work.
it's not a remote company. It's in office. She's a good match. Look how these people try to change the question so they don't have to give it.
Well, no, you asked what I would do, and I'm saying like so not in the situation I was in, the situation I am
What?
in. So if I were
Use
internal and we
your
had an office,
imagination.
okay,
Use your
listen.
imagination.
If we had an office and we had a no pet policy, and she wanted to bring the dog, then I would have to go to the
you
HR.
don't know there's a no pet policy. You're putting things in there. Would you just say,
Well, if there's
"Okay,
not if
Susie,
there's not a no pet policy, then why wouldn't you just put that in your presentation? And she wants to bring her dog to work. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you
Like
wouldn't challenge her. You would just tell the client, look, this is not
if
going to
it's a
go.
have to,
I'd see if she could bring her. First of all, if she's got one of those,
FMLA issue, like is it a support therapy dog
Yeah,
or,
any
is it, or
support
is it just
dog.
a pet?
People just like taking their pets to work now. You know that, okay?
Then I just put it in the presentation. Like, by the way, she has this kind of dog that she plans to
I
bring
would
to
tell
work
her to
every
get a
day.
support. I'd tell her to get a little support thing and get one of those little things to put on them and tell everybody
Get a
it's a
little
support
blanket.
dog and don't fucking worry about it. And nobody will say a word. That's what you do.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay. But you
I don't
wouldn't
know.
challenge, no one would challenge her and say, look, are you crazy?
that's
You wanna
not.
get
It's
drunk?"
not your business. It's
It would depend. I mean, it really depends. I mean, again, it's not black and white. It's if a candidate says to me, I don't have a support animal or anything like that, but I have to bring my parrot with me to work every day. Like, why? Right, that's my first question. Why? And
Makes
it's going
me
to be,
feel
well,
good. I can do a much
I
better
live in
job with my parrots with me.
then you need to get the emotional support certification, which is free, right? Get that, and then it won't be an issue. You don't even have to tell me. You just bring the dog with your little emotional
How do you get an
support thing.
emotional support certificate?
In the US, it's relatively easy. And here's the thing, they're actually trying to crack down on it because emotional support does not fall under the ADA. Correct me if I'm right, Donna?
I
Only
don't know,
the
but
ones that are actual service animals.
service animals
right?
are different.
Emotional
Yeah.
support animals are not service animals, but because of the ADA rules, you can't ask them if they
What
say it's a
kind?
service
Why?
animal, you say
Right.
yes, it's a service animal. They cannot say, what does the animal do? What's wrong with you?
Or
Are you
what's wrong with
retarded? Do
you?
you have
Yeah.
this? Do you have that? You can't ask that.
Okay.
It's crazy, but it's not. But like your whole thing about challenging them, like if it was my friend, if I had a friend that was being weird and just like I have to take my dog, yes, I would challenge my friend and tell them they're being ridiculous. But if it's a candidate, it's not my business. You know, I'll do what I can to
And
make
they
a
better
good
be
match.
so
But
damn good that I'll fight for. I mean, if they're not any, I mean,
Yeah.
they'd have to be a rock star, right? And
to
have
go to
a
bat if they're doing
legit
something.
reason for me to go to
Yeah.
bat for them,
Yeah.
right? And again, emotional support. That sounds like emotional support. Makes me feel good. Okay, that's emotional support. Get yourself one of those jackets that have a, do not pet or whatever the hell is on it, and then we have nothing to worry about.
Okay, Tom, I like what you just said, and I'm going to give you a little more information. Look, Mr. Hiring Manager or Ms. Hiring Manager, I got a problem. I don't want to leave my dog in a small cage all day, and if he gets anxious when I'm not there, and he'll rip my place apart, okay, if he's by
You
himself.
don't say that.
That's
You
why
don't
it's
say
not
that.
emotional support for me. It's
You
emotional
don't say that.
for
You
him,
don't say
okay?
that. You
But
say
that's
it's
real.
an
I've
emotion-
seen it on TV. Some dogs, they
Yeah,
can't be.
but you don't say that. If you want to bring your dog to work, you don't say that.
Okay, but under certain circumstances, you would go to bat for the candidate. You just said that.
Yeah.
That's what made me add that.
Yeah,
Dave, you
it's
want to
certain-
get in on this?
And I'm going to walk
I'm
through
just-
how to. If it's a company that isn't dog friendly, I'm not even going to have to go to bat. I'm just going to walk them through how to be able to handle the situation, so no one's going to ask a question.
Okay, so but you are willing to walk away from a big fee because of the dog, okay? Okay, thank you, Dave.
No,
you
I want to
just
tell
said
them how to get it through.
okay, and Donna said if it was her friend, she would say you're crazy, okay?
Probably so. They'd have to have a pretty good reason for me to think otherwise, because that sounds crazy. I shouldn't say that. That's mean for all the emotional support people. But
But we
Sorry.
already gave them an out. I said it wasn't for someone who's you
That's
know.
right. That's right. You already said that. So yeah,
They just
like let
they
it
just
go.
being with their dog. Okay, there's
Take
a
him to
level.
puppy daycare then.
Okay,
Negotiate for a higher salary.
I guess Tommy keeps leaving, so he might be on his way back. But I'm going to end the show with that. Is there anything anyone wants to add? Puppy Power. That's that's right, Dave. After Puppy Power, is there any other topics? I should have called that Puppy Power. If I would have been sharp from the start, I would have. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
End of show. See you later.